This is the Flophouse, guys.
Uh-huh.
Normally,
Oh, yeah.
we do a podcast about bad movies, and we have a few yucks. We laugh a lot. We love a lot. We love a lot. But tonight, instead, I'm in
let me check.
control.
Hold on. Let me check our to-do list.
Wait,
let me check our to-do list.
What?
Hold on. Live a lot.
Yeah.
Laugh a lot. Love a lot. It's all on the list. You're right. That's what we do.
Yeah.
But I control the vertical and horizontal tonight. And
and I think you got a full tank of gas.
Someone wound me up, boy. Someone stuck one of those giant keys in my back and wound me the fuck up tonight. So buckle up, friends.
I'm buckled.
Are you buckled in?
This is a side of Dan we usually only see when he gets mad at us, but now it seems to have come out in some sort of enthusiasm haze.
It's weird. Yeah, he's smiling. I don't know how to respond to this.
It's a kind of Michael Madsen in Reservoir Dogs type of smile.
This is a new emotion I've coined. Joy anger is what I'm calling it. Janger Unchained is what is going on. And tonight's mini episode, normally we talk about bad movies, but tonight I'm springing something on you guys for this mini. Okay. And here's the thing, okay.
Should I buckle my seatbelt?
Buckle your safety belts, because it's going to be a bumpy ride.
Okay.
Hold on, let me pull down the overhead roller coaster harness that's attached to my chair. Oh, it's too tall. Why am I so short? I'll just have to hold on to it, I guess.
Yeah. Hey, here's the thing. So there's a pandemic going on. I don't know if you heard about this. People are staying inside because a virus is killing people, and our president doesn't give a shit.
Wow.
Okay.
I thought it was just that HBO Max finally got rolled out, and people just wanted to catch up on all the episodes of Doom Patrol.
Okay, everyone's staying.
I was just watching that earlier.
Everyone's staying home. All right. So, my friends over the Daily Show, you know them. You know half of them, Elliott. Half of them have gone since you worked there.
Half of them I know, and half are mysteries to me.
We've been doing some trivia nights, is what we've been doing. We've been rotating around. Different people have been taking care of different trivia nights. And Audrey and I did a trivia night that people seem to enjoy, and their most enjoyed round was one that I thought would be very good for Flophouse Mini. So I'm going to spring it on you guys tonight.
Well, I guess what you're saying is pop quiz hot shot.
Yeah. Is there more to that?
Part 2?
Part 2, yeah. No, that's just what they say in Speed.
Pop quiz part 2.
They say pop quiz hot shot, and then he said hot shots part 2, and now you got to think of something that starts with do.
The right thing.
Oh, yep.
You got
That's
it.
good.
Yeah.
From another world.
That thing you do.
Do the right thing from another world. Now, some backstory for the listeners. We have started to kind of rotate who is taking the lead on the minis. Stuart last mini did a great job explaining Warhammer to us. I don't know how the game is played, but I certainly know there are lots of names in it. And
I can actually see behind you guys on your shelves. They're currently filled with tiny model soldiers that are in the process of being painted. That's really great.
We love it now. And Dan said, "I've got something for this one," and then never told us what
and
it
now
is. So
I'm
this is as
rolling
new to
into
us as it is
sort
to
of
you.
a manic energy that is throwing everyone off, and that's the way I play this game. You
Manic energy.
You want to play a game, boy?
I guess so. I don't think we have an option.
Okay, well the
Dan
game
Snyder,
here is
Strangeland.
So this is a round that I did for trivia, and I think that you guys are going to enjoy it. And it's called Imdb Goofs. It's a Goofs from IMDb. And here's I don't need...
Now, wait. So, Dan, you're not to interrupt, because this is your mini. When you said IMDb, I thought you were going to say I am DB Gillis, screenwriter and NYU professor who actually taught craft of visual and dramatic writing when I was a student there. But it's not that you are.
I am
he's a
DB
good
Sweeney,
guy.
star of The Cutting Edge, with Moira Kelly. It's a little film, a little romantic comedy about a guy who's, he's a hockey player, so you wouldn't think that he'd be good at figure skating. But turns out that when you put an unlikely pair together, sometimes they fall in love. The Cutting Edge.
Sounds like a real hat trick for me.
Oh, boy. Okay, guys,
So,
come
Dan,
on.
explain IMDb Goofs. What does that
IMDb
mean?
Goofs. Here's, I don't need to explain IMDb Goofs to you guys. But here's an explanation that I put together for this trivia round that I did in the past. I'm gonna and for the listener, most entries on the Internet Movie Database have a Goofs page tracking mistakes in those films. Most of these goofs are along the lines of a shirt being wet in one shot but dry in the next, or a modern coffee cup being visible in a medieval fantasy world. However,
That was incorrectly regarded as a goof in the movie Time Traveling Coffee Cup.
Yep. However, the IMDb goofs are contributed by so-called, quote, normal people who may have unique, overly pedantic, or even philosophical definitions of what qualifies as a goof. I have collected several actual goofs from the Internet Movie Database. These are all real. It is your job to guess the film based on the goof. And to narrow the field, these movies are all from a list of the top 100 grossing American films of all time. Now, I want to be clear about this. This is an adjusted for inflation list.
Oh, it is adjusted for inflation.
It is adjusted for inflation because a top, just absolute numbers, it would be all recent blockbusters, boring. This is in real dollars of the year, top 100 movies of American movies of all time. I'll give you an example to start us off.
Sure.
At the beginning of the film, where Maria is dancing on the top of the mountain and she hears the bells of the convent ringing.
Can I tell you what the movie is?
No, hold on. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure you know it by now, but let's let the goof play out.
Okay, let's see what happens with this purported goof.
Play it where it lays, Elliot. When Maria is dancing on the top of the mountain and she hears the bells of the convent ringing, firstly, the mountain is so far away that there's no chance she would hear it even with bionic hearing. What is that? What movie? Elliot, I know you can hear it. What is it?
Yeah. Is that The Sound of Music?
That is The Sound of Music.
I would also call that...
I forgot she got up bionic hearing.
Yeah. That happens in the prequel, The Sound of Bionic Ears music.
Yep. Perfect.
Now, that's not really a goof because she would have been able to hear those bells. That kind of sound travels incredibly far in valleys.
Well, there's also...
and across mountain ranges.
I cut off a second half to that just for...
Where the guy goes, oh, wait, hold on. I just realized that's not a goof. Forget I said anything.
For speed's sake, I just for explaining the premise, I cut off the second half of the goof, which is that she runs to the convent, and the convent is clearly 20 miles away based on, what you see in the film. But, okay.
That red line that goes on a map that shows the distance she's traveling.
Indiana Jones style red line that's like...
Well, it's the second goof is that she then checks her Fitbit Pro that's attached to her wrist, and she's like, wow, I ran 20 miles.
Yeah. This guy sure got my steps in. Anyway, it's the 40s.
So, but I think you guys...
here's that... Wait, but guys, you just... Stuart, you bring up an interesting thing about the bionic ears, which is that if she has them... It gives new meaning to the song, How Do You Solve a Problem Like Maria? Because she can hear them talking about her. Yeah. And the problem they're talking about is probably that she knows when they're planning surprise parties for her because she can hear them with her bionic hearing.
Yeah. That's a big problem. Now, so before we get into these questions, what's going to be on the line here?
Oh, that's an interesting question.
So,
I mean, we should discuss a little bit about gameplay here because you could play against each other. I'm not quite sure how that would work. It seems like the easiest thing would be to play... just sort of against the house together as a team,
as a cooperative game.
But
okay. So where are the stakes? Are you the house?
I'm the house. Hello.
Okay. So where are the stakes?
I'm a house.
So if we lose,
yes,
or no, if we win, Dan has to lick a dog turd. Mm-hmm. If Dan wins, Elliot has to lick a dog turd.
I don't love these stakes.
I don't like either way.
They're not
you
stakes.
seem
that's
to
the thing.
hover
that's
above
what
the
tell you
fray
they are, but they're actually
in any
turds.
situation. That's not my main problem with it, but it is one of my problems. Is that you seem to have placed yourself beyond any sort of repercussions.
We're just talking about upper level strategy here, guys.
It's a real Alien versus Predator thing. No matter who wins, we lose.
Yeah.
So think of what the stakes are. Do Stuart and I have to do something if we lose? Also, how do we decide who wins and who loses? I guess if we
this is the problem.
Get more wrong than we thought. This is the kind of stuff. I mean, if we had known about this ahead of time, we might have been able to help you figure out the gameplay. Stuart, you have a literal encyclopedia of game mechanics.
The fun of it is that I'm springing it on you. I guess
you're right.
8 questions. So what in your minds would constitute a win for you guys out of 8?
At least 4, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if we get 4,
so if you get half of it, you win.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's agree on some terms here.
So what happens to Dan here? What
part of himself does he have to shave?
That's actually a good point. Dan has to shave just his mustache.
Oh, guys, that's nothing that. Look, it's not just me that you're hurting.
Okay, what about one eyebrow? Just one eyebrow.
No, my eyebrows are barely there in the first place. This is something that that Zoom calls have pointed out to me in a way that I didn't realize before. They are barely there.
Okay. How about Dan has to frost his tips or something?
Yeah. And we're talking about your hair, Dan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so I guess that's the stakes for Dan.
Okay, frosted tips. How about you're never mean to me ever again, ever in the world, ever.
That is, we got to win this thing, Stu.
Okay. We're never mean, and then or Dan is going to look super dope. I guess
sounds like Dan
options.
wins either way this time.
Seems like it.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, guys. All right.
And Dan, when you get them frosted, you have to say to the barber, "Give me the Guy Fieri."
And he's like, "Oh yeah, philanthropist, charitable, amazing dresser, Guy Fieri. Yeah, sure."
Yeah, I'm like, I got to be like, frost these tips like they're your breakfast cereal, baby. And he'll be like,
your breakfast cereal, Sugar Ray.
You go away. Stop calling me baby. I'm a man who does your hair. Number 1, Moses appears to be wearing the same cloak for more than 40 years, but it never shows any aging at any point in the story. That's number 1. That's a goof. Moses appears to be wearing the same cloak for more than 40 years, but it never shows any aging at any point in the story. What movie?
Okay, Elliot, this is a tough one.
So we know Moses is in it, or a character named Moses who wears a cloak for a long time.
And it covers a large period of time, so
So it's a Forrest Gump type movie. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna say, my real guess is the 10 Commandments, or do we go with the joke guess of the Irishman?
Right. It's the 10 Commandments, Dan. Is that correct?
It is the 10 Commandments. That is an IMDb goof for the 10 Commandments. Someone is very upset that the robe does not age.
Yeah. I mean, that's like the Fast Five of the Commandment sequels. Yeah. It kind of redefines the whole franchise.
Yeah, well, because the first commandment, it was like, it feels like they're not really getting to the full potential of what they could be doing here. Second commandment, it's just a retread of the first commandment. Third commandment, whole new cast, feels weird. It feels weird to suddenly have all these new characters, but then the fourth commandments, Moses comes back. Finally, we get like some kind of, we go, okay, at least number 3 was in continuity. Fifth commandment, it's like, okay, this is a new director. He's bringing a new vision to it.
And then in the fifth one, too, you're like, what's that in the distance? Is that a giant boulder coming? And it isn't until the sixth one that you're like, the rock has arrived.
Yep. And the sixth one, the rock's finally there, and they finally have their chemistry, but it's not totally there. So the 7 is the one where they're in space, and Moses is helping the space Jews escape from Space Pharaoh. And they didn't, obviously, they wrote that out of the continuity. For number 8, which is actually a sequel to number 6, finally the rock has taken control. That one's why then they had the spin-off, They had the spin-off called Bathsheba and the Rock, where the Rock shows up in the David and Bathsheba story. Then it was the 7th commandment, which of course was was more of a launching pad for the Commandments TV series, and let's not talk about that. The 8th commandment, getting better. That was a heist movie. The 9th commandment was the one where there was a killer loose among the Jews, and then the 10th commandment, it really came together.
Elliot, do you think Dwayne Johnson ever comes into his children's bedroom and he sees
Probably
his
very
children.
often. Probably very often he visits his children in their bedroom.
But they're watching a movie on TV, and it's the opening of the movie Never-Ending Story, and the Rockbiter is there, and he's like, "Turn it off! I told you never to watch this part."
That thing scared
too
me so much as a
scary.
kid. I thought he was going to eat me.
Yeah.
That probably happened. I mean, the assumption there
That
that we're
happens
making
a lot,
is
right?
Yeah. Probably the biggest assumption we're making is that The Rock lets his kids have a TV in their room,
Yeah, I guess you're right.
which I'm not sure about because he's all about physical fitness. But otherwise, yes, I think that's exactly what happens.
No,
Okay,
you're probably right.
so the score
Okay, Dan,
is
number
Got it.
Dynamic Duo 1
That is-
and Mr. Lonesome 0.
One against what? Wait, what did you call it?
Mr. Lonesome. Look,
Lonesome,
if you
just
win, I
'cause-
can't make fun of you anymore, so I got to pile it on.
Just,
That's your weird criminal name, I think.
I mean, weird. What's weird about it? So okay,
I mean, if it was like a weird police academy movie, and they're like, "There's an arch criminal attacking Gotham, and his name's Mr. Lonesome," and you're like, "The police academy went to Gotham?"
I love this crossover, and Batman is like, get a load of these yucks.
get a load of these yucks.
That's the one where Commissioner Gordon gets bumped back down to private. He's just a patrol officer again, but he's still an old man.
I mean, I feel like that's pretty of a piece with the current Harley Quinn cartoon, but you know.
All right, well
Listen,
here's one for you. Much lighter items than Marty are not blown backwards by the speakers. Much lighter items than Marty are not
Now-
blown backwards by the speakers.
Now let's pretend we don't already know what this is, and let's
Sure.
analyze this situation.
okay.
Someone named Marty. I'm going to immediately go. My mind goes to Ernest Borgnine. He's blown backwards by speakers. Now, in Marty, starring Ernest Borgnine, I don't think there are any electronic speakers.
Yeah.
But perhaps he's at like some kind of Chautauqua type event where people are giving speeches, and those are the speakers that they're talking about. On the other hand, that a human being would be able to yell with such force that it would knock a lonely butcher over in a movie that's kind of a kitchen sink drama seems unlikely.
Sure.
So let's discard the movie Marty, shall we?
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Let's cross that off.
So, Stuart, do you have any other? What other thoughts? What else can we analyze from this? Okay.
Well, Marty rhymes with farty.
Okay.
So I would
Yes.
probably come up with some kind of a song, like a rhyme, and then I'd probably pick on Marty with that nickname, right? Because Farty Marty sounds. I mean, it
this
just
is
sounds
great. It's
funny.
getting
Yeah, I mean, I'd
closer
probably
to
call
the-
him a chicken. I'd probably make fun of him by calling him a chicken rather than talking about
Oh,
farts. But
Yeah, I guess that's less likely to offend the parents and all the
now,
all the sheeple in the audience.
now I don't know why, but I'm kind of assuming that this Marty is friends with a mad scientist for some reason that is never fully explained, even though he's
That's
a high
weird,
school
but-
student. Maybe
yeah,
I'm
he's a
reading too much into it.
child and he's hanging out with a grown man, huh?
With
Like
a
an
grown
old
man who, as far as we know, is possibly involved with a terrorist organization from an enemy power.
I mean, he's bilking them. I don't think it's a direct.
The law enforcement agencies looking into this don't know that he's planning to bilk them. They just know he's been in contact with the Libyans as he
I
shouts.
feel like bilking them is something that our current president could probably try and use as an excuse as to why he contacted Russian agents.
Maybe. So, speaking of bilking, so it's not Sergeant Bilko, probably, because I don't think there's anyone named Marty in that. So let's just say Back to the Future.
Yeah, that is correct. You got it.
Yay!
We
Back
did
to
it. We
the
we
Future.
logicaled our way to it.
All right. Here's another one for you guys.
Okay, so what's the score?
That is
4-0.
2-0.
Okay.
Too okay.
2-0, okay.
You've gotten two of these. Number 3. When Bluto chugs down the whiskey, bubbles can be seen fizzing to the top. Real whiskey does not give off bubbles. You as a bartender, Stuart, know this.
Yeah.
This is the first thing they teach
And-
at bartender
and a
school.
drunk.
Is that like they're like whiskey ? Bubbles, and you say no.
Uh-huh.
Wait,
Wait,
so
it
it's-
just says whiskey, question mark?
It just
bubbles?
says whiskey ? Bubbles, which is a weird way to write a sentence. Not even whiskey
It's
bubbles ?
just it's not a sentence. It's just what's on the chalkboard, Elliot.
It
It's
sounds like
closer
it's,
to like poetry.
Yeah.
yeah, it sounds like they're saying the answer to whiskey is bubbles. Like the question is whiskey and the answer is bubbles.
Whiskey bubbles? Yeah. Well, yes or no? Why
So
slash no?
Bluto. I mean, I don't know. Like, it certainly hasn't aged well, but it was so popular for a long time. I guess Animal House.
You're correct. That is Animal House. Is
Like a fine carbonated whiskey, it has not aged well.
It was either that or Popeye.
Yeah, once you name the character, once you name check Bluto, it really you
well,
have two
that is-
options to choose
oh
from.
boy, that is. Not doing well here. That is.
It's not going to be ordinary people
3
with
for you.
Bluto as one of the characters.
Yeah. All right. Well, here's
yeah.
one.
Well, the minute you mentioned Bluto, Stu is not like, Lincoln? Is it Steven Spielberg's Lincoln?
Yeah, Don Sutherland's character Bluto in Don't Look Now.
That would be a very...
Like,
if the
why do I have
movie's-
a dead kid?
If the movie is exactly the same, Don't Look Now, but his character's name is Bluto, that'd be pretty amazing.
Now I would remind you. Okay, I'm gonna.
I would also argue it would make it no less ridiculous.
Yeah, sure, yeah, it's already a pretty ridiculous movie.
Now I'm gonna.
But you have to imagine Julie Christie calling out the name Bluto in ecstasy as they have sex before going out to dinner.
I'm gonna continue walking bravely into the future, and I'm gonna remind you too. These are IMDb goofs. These are goofs in popular films. Here's a goof for you. Oh, can you imagine this next goof?
Should I buckle my
Buckle
seatbelt?
your safety belt. 'Cause
I mean,
this fucking goof. Can you believe
man.
that this goof would be in a major motion picture?
How many times have I buckled my
gonna
safety
find
belt tonight? I got to keep unbuckling it so I can buckle it again.
Double buckle it because this is a big goof, guys.
I've actually
Okay.
heard if you buckle it twice, it doesn't actually make it any safer. But that's
Yeah.
And it's double
Oh
safe.
boy, can you believe this next boner that
Keep building it up.
is a real goof? Here you go. When Dorothy is running lines with Julie at Julie's apartment and asks her why she drinks so much, Julie says, quote, "Because it isn't fattening and it's bad for me." Any professional actress concerned about her appearance would know all too well that alcohol is both very fattening and causes a bloated appearance. What film has this goof? Ugh.
that's oh
Imagine
man.
a goof like
What-
this.
I don't know, man. That is technically correct. I guess it is a goof.
I mean, if the character is wrong, which doesn't mean it's a goof. Like,
Now, Dorothy,
Yeah.
I mean, that's a character from Golden Girls, right?
yeah, that's what my assumption is. This is
But Golden Girls isn't a movie. Did they make a movie of Golden Girls?
only in my dreams.
Uh-huh.
Now, in my
Is that
dreams.
the name of the movie?
Now, here's the thing. Golden Girls only in my dreams is that's the movie where they dream that they've become young again, but they still talk with the same voices. It's the Golden Girls cast we love dubbing their voices into young faces, with the
Basically
exception of Estelle
cocoon.
Getty, who wore old age makeup on the show, I believe, because she was about the same age as the other ladies.
I believe. No, before every taping, she got cursed by a monster, and it made her old briefly, just long enough to record a couple scenes.
Before every episode, she had to destroy the portrait of herself in an attic that aged, so that the
Yeah.
effects would go onto her, and then they would paint a new portrait, a new magic portrait afterwards.
It was a hit show, so they could afford that thing.
Yeah, so I have to admit, I don't remember those characters, Dan.
This is number 4. This is the 4th question. Are you giving up?
Stuart, do you have,
a
any?
guess?
Do you have any guesses? So the characters are what? Dorothy and what was
Dorothy
it?
and Julie.
Chuli?
Dorothy and Julie go boating. These are the characters. Dorothy and Julie.
And that one's an actress. Julie's an actress.
I'm gonna say the player.
I'm gonna go with Sphere.
Okay, well, the movie is Tootsie. Tootsie is the movie.
Ouch.
Dorothy.
What's ironic is I just rewatched that I think 3 months ago,
Yeah.
and I did not love it.
No, it's not that great.
Wait a minute, you can't call the
It's
character
fine.
Dorothy though. Wait a minute, but Dorothy's not the name of the
Dorothy
real
is
person.
the name of the person. That is her character. What's his face you're making at me, Elliot?
Wait, which one is Dorothy?
Dorothy is who Dustin Hoffman's character is playing. Michael is playing Dorothy.
Yeah, exactly. So to say that Dorothy is saying this is ridiculous. That's a goof in a goof.
You're a goof.
Dorothy
You're
does
a
not
goof
exist.
in a goof, Elliot. You're a goof in a goof, sir.
If only I was a double goof. I'm going to take issue not with you, but with the writing of that goof, because Dorothy is not the actual character. Dorothy is a persona.
Right now,
adopted by the character of Dustin J. Hoffman
right now,
playing himself.
My friend, we are 3-1. 3-1. You're winning.
Okay,
you're still
you're on
winning
the
handily.
board.
I don't know why you're.
I know, but are you sure it wasn't Sphere?
Being a real.
Another Dustin Hoffman movie.
Okay, so
that's true.
Next question. After all the chimney sweeps leave the house, Jane tells her father that every one of them shook his hand. This isn't, in fact, true. A big handful of them simply tipped their hats to him on their way out. That's a real goof.
Oh, man.
I hope someone got fired for that blunder. That's embarrassing that they would goof so hard.
And it's clearly. Do you think the original script said only some of them shake his hand, the rest tip their hats, and then she said that, or the script said they all shake his hand? They're like, we tried to shoot it, just took way too long.
It wasn't possible with the technology at the time. We couldn't show that many handshakes on film.
Handshakes.
We tried to do it and then speed it up, but it just looked too crazy.
Science doesn't allow for such fast handshaking.
Yeah.
So what movie had that real boner in it?
So it's a movie with a multitude of chimney sweeps.
Chimney sweeps in this movie.
So, it's a plethora of movies that involve multiple chimney sweeps.
Well, I know Gremlins has a story about a chimney.
But the chimney isn't swept unless you consider. It must have been swept a little bit by the costume of Phoebe Cates' dead father as they pulled him out. So it is a sweeping, I suppose. It's probably not Sweepers because that movie is actually called Sleepers.
Exists in the movie.
Yeah.
Sweepers.
And it's probably not Sweepers because that movie is called Sneakers.
Yeah.
And it's not Sweepers 2 because that's Critters 2.
But I think you're getting closer.
It's not the movie Sweepers because that's Jeepers Creepers.
Oh, man. Less said about that one, the better.
That was the movie I walked out of on September 12th, 2001, when the movie theater across from my dorm at NYU said, "Hey, we're going to let everyone watch free movies." And we loaded up on free popcorn and walked in, and we're like, "Oh, we heard Jeepers Creepers was okay." And about 5 minutes in, I said, "I am not in the mood for a movie right now."
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So Mary Poppins probably.
Mary Poppins, final answer. That is correct. It is Mary Poppins. So you've won my game, but let's continue as if you have not.
Let's keep going. Look, I'm
Cool.
feeling.
Press your luck. No whammies, guys.
Stuart, should
I'm
we?
going to start Googling salons.
Or Stuart, are we feeling confident enough that we should go double or nothing? Should we raise
Double
the
would be
stakes?
impossible because it's 8 and we've already
missed one. But
oh, that's true. Well, what I mean, double or nothing. Like Dan has to get Audrey's hair frosted also.
I mean, she would love that.
actually a
She
good
already
point.
has blue tips, so I think that would be fine. But
Blue Tips starring Shaquille O'Neal. Okay, then let's just keep going.
keep
for
going.
The fun
Okay, for the fun of it, Diet Coke. Let's
Love of the game, you know?
Rocky, Frank's quote, perfect man, has fillings in his teeth. Can you believe that, goof? Rocky, quote, Frank's perfect man has fillings in his teeth.
To be fair, considering Rocky was grown in a vat, it is kind of a goof that he has fillings in his teeth. On the other hand, it's not exactly what I would call a big budget spectacular, where they would get fake teeth caps.
Yeah, well, it sounds like you know.
This is me.
What movie?
No, but I don't know. I'm assuming it's because Stuart, this could be Rocky 3, where Rocky gets a new body grown in a vat. Not Rocky 4.
Yep.
No science fiction elements in Rocky 4. Please remove that robot in the director's cut. But could be.
I don't want. Why do you have to bring that up, Elliot?
It was at the.
So sad.
That was the request of a certain fan, Adam Chodikoff, wanted us to talk about it. I talked about it, Adam. That's all there's going to be. So yeah, let's think of other kind of Rocky movies. There's Cliffhanger, a lot of rocks in that. There's
Totally Rocky
that is,
movie.
you know, there's true.
there's The Rock with Sean Connery. There's
It's
Rocky and
Rocky
Bullwinkle.
as shit.
There's Red Rock West.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep,
it's right
yep.
there in the title.
John
not that
Dahl
many
didn't
rocks
really
in it.
like fulfill his early promise, but did some good movies. Yeah, Red Rock
Yeah.
West.
Yeah.
Could be that.
Raiders of the Lost Ark has a big rock in the beginning. You may as well call it Raiders of the Lost Rock.
Yep, that's true. That's true. I mean, it's a little bit of a stretch, but that's okay. We could talk about Dan's favorite animated feature, Rockadoodle.
Oh,
Yeah.
you piece of shit. I was just about to say Rockadoodle, and I was like, here's one Stuart's not going to mention.
The dumbest sounding one.
I was like, here's one that no one on earth remembers but me, Rockadoodle. And yet then
Here's a
there it
movie
comes
about a
marching out of
rooster
Stuart's
who
mouth.
is Elvis. Surely no one else recalls this film.
And yet there it is, like Stuart dipped a fork in my brain and took out a chunk and ate it, like in Hannibal, to come up with Rockadoodle. So I'm going to say it's the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
It is the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Correct. All right. Well, you guys are really sweeping the board. There have been, what is it?
And yet all I can focus on is the one that I got wrong.
There have been 6 so
That's just
far. You've gotten 5 out of 6. Let's move on. Here's one. Since the small alien craft was designed for a multi-tentacled being, trying to fly one would be like playing 8 pianos at once. What a goof, guys.
That is a goof. That is, I mean,
Fucking goof. What is going on in America today? That's such a goof. You could just fly through. We used to build things in this country, guys, and now we just manufacture goofs.
Yeah.
yeah, the service sector of our economy is mostly based on goofs.
Just goofs now.
Yeah. All we do is export goofs.
Yeah.
The
Look, you can't fix a bridge with goofs. It makes it worse.
I will repeat
So
this
what
if
are-
you need me to, but
What are some movies with small alien crafts? Well, of course, there's the one where the small alien robot gets turned into a burger.
Yep,
in the
batteries
movie
not
Batteries
included. Yeah, that's the smallest alien craft. They put cheese on it.
Everybody
they
wants
just
some.
flip a little cheese onto him. I don't know if he turned into a burger.
I mean, they don't put a bun on it,
Yeah.
but maybe he's on Atkins. I don't know.
I mean, Dan, I feel like if I melted a piece of cheese on you, people would mistake you for a burger.
Stuart, I'm way bigger than your average burger. Like, your average burger is what, like a
your
quarter
average
pound
burger.
at most? Like, you take... I am, like, what? I am, like, 800 times that.
Oh, wow. I'm really glad you're using your platform here to brag about how much bigger than
How
a
I'm
burger you
slightly
are.
overweight? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, to really take it, really showing up those burgers. So, okay.
Oh, man.
It's a small alien craft. It's probably not as small as one of the batteries not included. Now, it wouldn't be, let's say, like a Star Destroyer or the Death Star, because those are large crafts, and they're not really alien crafts.
And they're not piloted by tentacled aliens. It's probably not the spacecraft in Spaced Invaders.
Oh,
because
Stuart,
those
wait,
aliens do
again,
not have
again, you mentioned the exact movie that I was going to mention when
Instead,
you
they wear Letterman jackets and whatnot.
They have 2 hands. They're bipedal. Stuart, I should like that we are so in sync that I'm about to mention the same garbage movies that you keep mentioning. Spaced Invaders, kind of underrated.
Yeah, it's not bad. That's a good...
It's not terrible. Again, I got to start. This is why I interrupt you guys all the time, because if I don't, Stuart's going to say everything ahead of time that I was going to say. So it's where a human takes an alien craft. Now, it's not Flight of the Navigator, because he's just navigating.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's not piloting that ship.
Is it Independence Day? Independence Day, they fly an alien craft.
Yeah, and those guys are kind of tentacly, right?
Yeah, what about Arrival? Do they ever fly an alien craft or do anything exciting in Arrival?
No, they do nothing exciting in a.
They just make an emotional connection with an alien
They're
creature.
like, maybe
They're
that
just
circle
like-
is from the future.
Like, maybe we should communicate him instead of blowing him up right away.
Yeah.
Boring.
Yeah. No,
What do you think? I think I'm going to lean with. I'm going to go toward Independence Day.
Yeah.
That's going to be my answer.
I bet this is some kind of trick, and the answer is going to be ID4. So you say Independence Day, and I'll say ID4.
You're both right.
Okay,
It's
so
Independence
both-
Day /ID4.
Now, the real goof...
I'm glad that that's the goof
That
they're
is the
worried
real
about.
goof.
Not that a fucking MacBook can connect
that's-
to an alien fucking system.
And also, they've had the spaceship for decades, so the idea that they didn't have time to configure it for a person to drive it is crazy. Goof, you just got goofed. But the fact that he connects with that their computers are MacBook compatible is kind of crazy.
I mean, like, I feel like that's the same goof. Like, if they've had that much time, then maybe they figure out how to, like, do a little program that converts the what's-its to the other thing.
Dan, I can barely convert Mac Pages documents
That is
into
true.
Microsoft
You
Word
go
documents.
Fuck them up, Elliot.
I bet you they were like they went up to that mothership and they docked with it and tried to do it, and then Mac was like, this is not a compatible format. You have to use our mothership.
Light them up. Light them
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
So final goof of the night, guys. This is the last goof.
Wow, this has been a veritable troop of goofs.
It is a real goof troop. Here it goes. Tornadoes, friends. Tornadoes do not roar as heard several times. That is a goof. Tornadoes do not roar as heard several times.
Now, it could be the Mummy, where Imhotep takes the form of a sandstorm, and his face can clearly be seen in the sand cloud, and he goes, "Rah!" And you're like, what?
And it could be the Hurricane, although since that is about a person whose nickname is Hurricane.
Yeah.
And
That's true.
not the other movies called The Hurricane, which are about actual hurricanes.
Or
Now let's.
Hurricane, which is about Reuben Hurricane Carter.
Oh, that's the one I meant. I didn't
Yeah.
mean that Hurricane. I meant Hurricane. Now it's
Or the beverage.
Yeah, sure.
so it's a so read it again, Dan. What don't tornadoes do?
Tornadoes
as it does
do
several
not
times.
roar as they're shown to do several times.
Now, it's probably not the movie Roar, because that has lions,
that's-
and not tornadoes.
That's about
in it.
lions, and it's probably not Sharknado because then you'd be like, oh, it's the sharks that are roaring.
Yeah, that's actually a good point, Elliot. Thank you.
Although funny you mention roar. Riddle me this.
okay.
Why did I say that? No one knows.
Oh, man, he's got a devilish grin on his face, Elliot. I'm scared.
And then kind of a devilish beard. Now that I think about it,
Yeah.
Dan, are you the
If
devil?
only it was frosted. So
Oh yeah, Dan, you have to get the
we-
beard frosted too.
Okay,
yeah.
I mean, well,
Well, just the soul.
no, I would
part.
like that makes it better though, because it makes me feel like it's sort of a Frozen thing where like there's a little I get to think that like ice. There's like an ice power that is just like
Yeah,
hitting
Yeah.
the perimeter of my face.
yeah, it's like your regular
No,
Jack
I like
Frost.
the character you're developing.
Yeah, Dan McCold.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say, Legend of the Guardians, the Owls of
Wow.
Gahul. Is that, did I say it right?
I get the feeling like you're throwing this one, but
I'm
sure.
so torn between wanting
Yeah,
to
I'm
say
throwing it to Elliot
when-
to slam dunk it on you, like Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen.
so torn between trying to say what I think it is and making a joke.
No, come on, let's be honest here. Let's
Okay,
get real, guys. Let's
okay, Dan.
Start being real.
I guessed it.
Dan, does the survey say Twister?
It is Twister. Speaking of Roar, the cinematographer of Roar, Jan de Bont, who got scalped by a lion while filming Roar, directed Twister. And
Wow.
maybe he was haunted by getting scalped by a lion. He's like, what's more scary than a lion? Let's put a little lion roar over these twisters. Who knows? But that is it.
Well, because twisters have a tendency to blow people's, like if they have a hairpiece, they have a tendency to blow that
Yeah.
off in a comedic way. So maybe after he had been scalped, that was the thing he was most frightened of, was being...
I mean, maybe he
his
took
hair
that
blown off
lion,
the second time.
and as revenge, he just threw it into the tornado, and so that was the lion roaring, going, "Get me out of this thing, Wilma!"
I gotta say,
the lion's wife is named Wilma.
You guys really blew it out. You got 7 out of 8 correct.
Yeah. Wow.
Very good.
I feel I mean, last time we did a mini, I talked about games, and this time I kind of showed you I know how to play them.
I mean, because you definitely didn't show us that you knew how to play a game last time.
Last time you were like, here's a game, I will avoid explaining it. And this time I was like, shall we play a game? And you were like, sure, why not?
Did I?
Yeah.
Dan, good game. You did a great job putting that together.
Thanks for organizing that game, Dan. That was really fun.
Yeah. And
now I'm going to spend the rest of the night thinking the game over and be like, man, if only I'd done that better on that one question, we would have gotten a blowout.
Yeah. Well, I take issue with the way that goof was written. It's written as if Dorothy is a character, when in fact Dorothy is an alter ego. That's like saying, who's that senator or whatever that Tom Cruise is disguised as in the beginning of the first Mission Impossible movie? That'd be like saying that's a character
Dan,
in the movie.
Who's the senator
I don't know,
that he's
but
disguised as?
Elliot, I welcome the idea that you will track down whoever contributed this goof to the Tootsie IMDb page, and you'll wreak your vengeance upon them.
Goofs, in the scene where the Mr. Turtle Man walks into the Turtle Club, it's like, no, that's the Master of Disguise pretending to be a turtle. Don't tell me that's a character.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks for playing my game. You didn't have to saw your leg off to, get the key to the thing or whatever, and I appreciate that.
That's a literal reading of the end of the movie Saw.
I like the idea of this new Dan character, Lazy Jigsaw.
Lazy Jigsaw.
Hey, you want to play a game or whatever? You know what? Forget about it.
Honestly, it's better if you don't want to play the game, because I got to clean up a lot of shit. If you're gonna saw yourself open, like there's a lot of stuff I gotta do after that. It just.
But you put all the work into setting up this trap. Are you sure you don't want me to try and figure it out?
What? Like, I didn't think it through. I got to dispose of the body. I got to clean this.
But you kidnapped me off the street.
You know what? Go back. I'll just, smell this chloroform, and I'll put you back exactly where I found you.
But I think I can figure it out.
No. Hello. I'm halfway sewn to a human centipede. Are you going to finish the job, or what's going on?
No, you know what? I've lost my zest for this. You guys just go home. It's fine. Thanks for everyone for listening to this. Many, we're just playing around, man. It's like jazz. Thank you for listening. Let's do a regular episode. Why not? For the Flophouse, I've been Dan McCoy.
Hey, I'm Stuart Wellington.
Hey, I'm Elliot Kalin. Special thanks to everyone at Max Fun and our editor Jordan Cowling, and to you, the listener. Dan, do you have anything else you want to say?
Nope.
About how life's a game, or
nope.
You gotta play to win, or
nope. Oh.
Or hate the player, not the game.
Why not that one? Good night.
MaximumFun.org.
Comedy and culture.
artist owned.
Audience supported.